Hello folks, and welcome to episode 14 of the Plugdata course for beginners. Today I decided to talk about subpatches and abstractions. Patches in Plugdata can quickly become really messy, especially with big projects with hundreds of objects and messages and connections. Keeping track of everything might be really challenging. Subpatches are useful to organize your patch. The other solution you can use to avoid messy patches is use the trigger object. I made a video in this series, I'm sure. It's one of the first one in the playlist, so make sure to watch it. You'll find it here or in the video description. Trigger object is not only useful to schedule events, but it is also really useful to organize your patch visually. It will make things look way better. But what is a subpatch exactly? Well, it is a one-off patch saved inside an object within your main window, your main patch. We can create a subpatch by typing pd, and then you can choose a name, or you can write anything that comes to your mind. Subpatch 1, we can right-click, open, and here we can see that pd created a new window, a new patch inside this object box. This patch has no inlets, no outlets, so there's no way for us to communicate with it. And of course, it's empty. So within our subpatch, we can first create an inlet. You can choose between control rate and audio rate. Now let's start with control rate, and we also want an outlet. If we move to the main window, we can see that our subpatch has now an inlet and one outlet. If we change the inlet type from control rate to audio rate, the subpatch will update. Here we can write the type of input we want to add, and we can also specify a label, like this is our numerical inlet, so numerical input, and this is our final result. If we move back to the main window and we move our mouse over the inlet, we can see the label numerical input. Same thing for the outlet, final result. Trust me, you'll find yourself using this handy feature very often. At this point, we can move to our subpatch and we can add a sum object. Let's say that I want to add 10 to the incoming number. Now here we can add a float box. We can use float box here to visualize the final result. 1 plus 10, 11. That's really easy. Let's see how the subpatch handles multiple inlets. So here we can change label. This is our first inlet, then second one, and third one. There's no need actually to create something in between. It's just an example to show you how inlets are handled by a subpatch object. Here we can move inside our main window, first, second, and third. But if I change the order here horizontally, and I place from left to right, first, third, and second, well, my subpatch will update first, third, and second. So when adding inlets or outlets, it's the same thing. Make sure to use them and place them in the right order from left to right. Since there's no need to save subpatches because they are automatically saved within the main patch, we can close this subpatch 1. We can save our main patch. Then if I move inside the computer window where I saved my main patch, we can see that there's no subpatch file here. I can close this patch and open my subpatch tutorial. I can enter my pd subpatch, and here we have it. Last but not least, we can talk about the graph on parent option. Here in Plugdata is called isGraph, If you're using pure data, you'll find graph on parent. What I'm talking about? Well, this option allows you to change the appearance of a subpatch from a standard object to a window, basically, where you can look inside and see the graphical elements contained by that subpatch. How do we turn on this feature? Right-click, Properties. Under General, you can change the state of isGraph from No to Yes. Now our subpatch looks like a window. We can open our subpatch, and inside this red area, we can place any graphical element, like a bank, for example, or a slider, this one. And if we move to our main window, the subpatch will show the bank object and the slider contained within that red area. And if we enter in run mode, we can interact with these elements. In case you want to resize your subpatch window, you can grab any of these 4 handles and you can easily resize the overall subpatch. You can also right-click anywhere on the canvas, Properties, and you can also hide the name, the label shown inside your subpatch. We can see the label PD subpatch 1. Now I don't want to see it, so hide name and label should be in arguments. And here we have a clean view on these 2 graphical elements only. Now, how about abstractions? An abstraction is a special type of subpatch. More precisely, it is a real patch saved anywhere in your computer, and you can recall it by simply typing its name within an empty object box. So I want to do something very basic, like our +10 example with inlet and outlet. This is an empty project. Okay, I can save this inside my PD tutorial and I want to name it +10. Make sure to set the .pd file type. You can save. Now I can create a new patch. If I type +10, nothing happens. Error. +10 couldn't create. The reason is we need to provide Plugdata the folder path where we saved our abstraction. So we can enter the main menu, Settings, then Paths, and if we scroll down, we can add search path. My folder is in Desktop and PD Tutorial. Select folder. Now I can get rid of this object, create a new one, +10, and here we can also see that the tooltip is showing the full name, +10, with our inlet and outlet. And if I set this to 1, it will add 10, 11. So far, subpatches and abstractions might look identical, but there is a huge difference. Since with abstractions, we can save our patch every time we make any changes, like here, instead of +10, +20, all instances that we might create inside our new project will reflect those changes. Now, the name is +10, even though the abstraction is adding 20, never mind. So here we can see that it adds 20. Let's see if it does the same thing here for our second and third instance. So yeah, it adds 20. Yeah, it adds 20. We can change this. We can make an extra example. So let's add 1. We make sure to save your abstraction. We can close it. Okay, 1 + 1, 2, 1 + 1, and 1 + 1. And this is not what happens with subpatches. So my PD subpatch +10, that looks identical. So +10 with outlet. Okay, so this example adds 10 to our incoming value, and as expected, we get 11. We can add a few more instances of the same subpatch. I can enter the first one, and I can change this sum from 10 to 20. I can close it. 1 plus 20, 21. Here, 1 plus what? Well, 10, because these are one-off subpatches. So where to use abstractions and where to use subpatches? The way I like to use subpatches is a very quick and easy solution to encapsulate a piece of patch that I want to change. On the other hand, if I use abstractions, I know that I'll do future changes, so I want my abstraction to update all its instances. So far so good. We can now keep talking about abstractions because I want to show you how to use creation arguments. With abstractions, we can add extra arguments after the abstraction name. These arguments will change internal behavior, internal settings. Let's see how to properly set our abstraction. We can open it, and I want to change this fixed value with something that is linked to a creation argument. Here we use the $1 sign, that is the substitution variable. The way it works in the context of abstractions, it's slightly different from the $sign you can see in message boxes like in this example. This is a super common one where we use the $1 to say, hey, go to the input value in 100 milliseconds and draw a line at audio rate, so create an interpolation between the previous point and my target value at audio rate. Here, the $1 is updated constantly, so as we provide new values. With the $1 used here inside an abstraction, it gets updated once, so as we create the abstraction. We can save and we can move back to our main patch. This is called +10, but I don't want it to add 10, but I want it to add 5. Now, if I change the input value, we can see that 1 plus 5 now, it's equal to 6. I should change the name of this abstraction. So we can open save patch as, we can call it plus save. Great. So plus 100, and now it adds 100 to the incoming value. You can add as many creation arguments as you need. The only thing, pay attention to add as many $signs as the creation arguments you want to add with the correct index. So with our plus abstraction, I want 2 creation arguments. So the first one will be $1, the second one $2. Then make sure to save. We can move here, and I want the first creation argument 100, the second one 10. Now 1 plus 100 plus 10. And that's it for today, folks. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to take a look at my Patreon page. You'll find part 2 of this video, which is more kind of a practical video where I took the diatonic chord generator patch and I improved it with subpatches, abstractions, not only from a visual perspective, but also in terms of music capabilities. Plus, as always in my Patreon videos, you'll find some interesting tips and tricks that are always really useful. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao!